The former chief financial officer of the Trump Organization has pleaded guilty to tax fraud. Alan Weisselberg admitted to helping run a 15-year-long tax fraud scheme at the former president's business. He took more than $1.7 million worth of untaxed perks, including school tuition for his grandchildren, free rent for a Manhattan apartment, and lease payments for a luxury car. He's now agreed to testify against Donald Trump's real estate company at trial. Well, I'm joined now by Arise US correspondent Eric Ham, who is in Washington. Good to see you, Eric. Let's start with that new twist in the FBI search of Donald Trump's home in Florida. A copy of the warrant, along with an inventory of the items that the FBI seized, have already been released. I mean, what's different about this affidavit?
Well, the affidavit actually goes into greater detail because what it does is it explains why the Justice Department actually considered this to be a crime and what are the arguments that the Department of Justice used when they presented this affidavit to a judge to get this search warrant. The media companies, which includes some of the biggest media companies in the United States, such as the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, and others, are actually pushing for this. Now, the Justice Department is actually using three arguments that they believe should not allow this information to go forward. One is that they believe that because of the sensitive nature of some of the documents that the former president absconded with, they believe that this is a national security issue, and for that reason, it should not be made public. In addition to that, they believe that because there were past witnesses who the Justice Department leaned on, as well as future potential witnesses, they believe if this information is made public, it could actually scare off additional future witnesses and defendants for this case. And also, they believe that by providing this information and making it public, it provides information about how the Justice Department works. And that, again, they would see that as tainting their case, as well as crippling their ability to move forward with this investigation. And so the arguments that have been made, I've spoken to a number of legal analysts who say they believe that the judge will actually rule in favor of the Justice Department. In fact, many of the media companies that are pushing for the release of this affidavit, they also believe that it's highly unlikely that a judge will rule against the Justice Department. But again, what we're seeing here is media companies doing their job, wanting more information, perhaps more so than what they should have, at least at this point. And also, just very quickly, we also note that Donald Trump's lawyers are actually at this hearing as well. They're not weighing in or making a decision or trying to tip the scales on this issue. They are just watching and observing what actually happens.
But we do know, though, don't we, that Donald Trump has been requesting the release of that affidavit. I'm wondering, Eric, how much of a surprise it is that Donald Trump is taking up common cause with the media outlets he spent years describing as fake news.
Well, to be clear, what Donald Trump did not object to the release of the search warrant of the information that the Justice Department was actually looking for. As far as this, right now, Donald Trump has not weighed in. Many believe that, of course, he is using this entire case and this entire ordeal to raise money off of. In fact, we're told that Donald Trump is now able to raise more than $1 million per hour just based on this ongoing investigation. So, of course, he is certainly using this to his advantage. But again, does he actually want information out? We are told that right now he's using this to his advantage. But there are some who believe that if, in fact, this information is released, it could prove to be damaging for the president, because, again, it could actually bolster the case that the Justice Department has made against him. And many believe it could potentially turn off some voters as well.
Well, actually, that's a very good point you've just made, because I guess all this raises key questions about why Donald Trump had these documents and what he intended to do with them.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a question that probably has gone through many people's minds about why he had these documents. And we were learning that Donald Trump was actually in a heated back and forth with the Justice Department over these documents. And we are told that Donald Trump stated in a quote to his attorneys, "These documents are mine. They do not belong to them," meaning they do not belong to the U.S. government. They do not belong to the National Archives. Donald Trump believed that these documents were his and that he had every right to them and he has every right to keep them, which is why we are told he was unwilling to actually return these documents to the Justice Department. And of course, we don't know what gave him the idea that these documents were his, but of course, he believed in his mind that they were, and that is why he actually absconded with them.
Sterling analysis. Eric, as always, thank you very much indeed. Eric Ham, Arise US correspondent, talking to me there from Washington.